point, but not right now.
It's available whenever.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, that's how we have that.
Hi, good evening. We are going to go ahead and start our meeting. If we could have just a moment of silence, because today is the 17th year since the occurrence in New York. And so if we could have a moment of silence for the victims of that, those who are alive and who are still suffering from this tragedy that happened. Thank you very much. We'll go on ahead and get our meeting started.
So when best parents' house, I did the same thing at Falls, which is a place out. And the Albert's house, the ground wire.
After the meeting tonight, we are going to go over to Rio Bravo and have us enjoy ourselves. We're also going to have nachos that are going to be provided by the Dallas Sierra Club. So, really, everybody, it's southwest corner of Midway and Beltway, which is 1 block south of Beltline. So please, come over, enjoy some good company, and talk about what's been going on. In case, has anybody not heard about the fact that we have the North Texas Giving Day every year? We are part of that. We want you to go to the website. You can go to the Dallas Sierra Club website as well as this one, northtexasgivingday.org. Make your contribution to the Dallas Sierra Club as well as other very fine organizations. So, we are actually looking for somebody to take Arthur's place in the next short term. We need somebody who would like to be doing our once-a-month newsletter, putting it together and getting it published. So please talk to myself or Arthur. Arthur, raise your hand so they know who you are. Please come up, and we would love to have you do that. We're also in the mood. We're looking for co-chairs, 2 co-chairs for our club's monthly general meeting. This is a great opportunity to get to have the Sierra Club presentations be things that you like. So be sure and volunteer and learn a little bit about it. Kirk Miller is the expert, and he will be the one to show you the ropes. And first of all, what we're going to do is we're not going to have Chris start off. We're actually going to have David introduce someone who is going to, she's got a tight schedule, so we're going to let her do it. So if you would, come on.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm David Griggs, the political chair for the Lone Star chapter and the Dallas group. We have a short program tonight on our political program and campaign, but we actually have a very special guest, someone who we actually have endorsed and who's running for the State House of Representatives. She has to go because she's got a big event at her campaign headquarters, so I wanted to let her go early and give a few minutes so you can take it out of my program if you need to, or for time-wise. Anyway, Julie Johnson is running for state representative in House District 115. Which is basically this northwestern corner of Dallas County. And she can tell you the specific areas. I know it's Farmers Branch, Carrollton, Coppell, and parts of Irving. Anyway, this part of the city. If you know of people who live in that area, be sure to tell them about it. Her opponent is Matt Rinaldi, so most of you know who he is. Julie has done a very good job of raising money. She has polling that shows that she is actually ahead. And so we have a real shot with this particular candidate. So Bill Greer is here. He can vote for you. Anyway, Julie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your campaign and what you need from us? Some of us can vote for you, most of us can't, but you probably need some help.
Oh, thank you.
She's
thank
not
you, David.
Matt Rinaldi. That's really
What?
all I need to know.
What'd you say?
You're not Matt Rinaldi.
I am not Matt Rinaldi.
That's really
right.
all I need to know.
So thank you so much for letting me come and being here with you tonight. I'm so grateful to have the endorsement of the Sierra Club. It's something I'm very pleased about and very proud to have, and so I do appreciate your support there. And David has been such a friend to our campaign and such a good leader as our SD16 chair, and has just really gone out of his way to help all of the candidates. So I'm running against House District 115, Farmers Branch, Carrollton, Coppell, Valley Ranch, and North Irving, and a smidge of Addison. So as we all know, Matt Rinaldi has not been a friend to Democrats, has not been a friend to the progressive community. He is one of the most conservative members of the Texas House. He consistently votes against education. He's voted 10 out of 10 times against funding our local schools. He votes against women's health access. He's voted against the expansion of Medicaid. He votes against, he co-authored the bathroom bill. He's the guy that called ICE on all the protesters of the Show Your Papers bill. He and I have very different viewpoints on the value of each one of us and our individuality, and I'm honored to have your support. So Democrats, we have a blue wave in North Texas, right? It's very exciting. We have an amazing slate of state house candidates who are running, and I want to encourage each one of you to get involved in their campaigns and support us. There's been a lot of talk about the blue wave, but most experts feel like it's going to start right here in Dallas County at the state legislative races. We have an opportunity to pick up 7 seats here in Dallas County and really eliminate some far-right conservative votes. So there's been a lot of polling done in my race specifically, along with many of the other races, and every single one of the State House Democrats are at least even or up in the polls. So that's very, very exciting. It's very exciting. It shows that our base are waking up. Our base are realizing that your vote matters, that it counts, that you must go to the polls. We can't affect our destiny if we don't vote. And we are a Democratic state, we just have not been voting. So I need to make sure that each one of you will absolutely make certain to go vote in November. We are 56 days from Election Day. 41 days from the start of early vote. Not that anyone's counting. And so it's very important. So I'm certain that you have all been contacted by various campaigns. They've been asking you, are you going to support the Democratic ticket? Are you going to vote a straight ticket? Yes or no? And so the process is right now, the campaigns, we're all out identifying our voters. We're out asking, so David Griggs, he's going to vote for Julie. I know he lives in Farmers Branch. He's supporting my campaign. So what's happening now? So early vote happens. The first day of early vote comes. The county puts up all the lists of everyone that's voted, and David's not on the list. What am I going to do? I'm going to start calling David. I'm going to start texting David. Then after days have gone by, I'm going to start knocking on his door. David, why haven't you voted? So you can do all the campaigns a favor if you go vote on the first day of early vote. And
That's what I always do.
And if you want to eliminate a lot of texts, a lot of calls, a lot of door knocks, a lot of literature, go vote on the first day, because we're all watching. We all know in the van, we can all tell, and it makes a huge difference and it helps everybody a lot. Yes, sir.
Is there a do not call list we can get on?
If you vote the first day of early vote, you will not be called. Because what happens is we will upload the list, the county uploads it, you merge it into your van, and you wash out everybody that's voted, and then you just keep turning out the vote of everybody that hasn't. So you'll do yourselves and the campaigns a lot of favors. Just go vote on the first day. Voting is safe. What can you do to get involved? First of all, like our Facebook page, Julie Johnson for Texas. Be part of our dialogue. We have issue posts all the time. We ask for comments. Please get engaged on social media. Make sure you're registered. Make sure your kids are registered. My son is starting his freshman year in college. I'm making sure he's got his absentee ballot. Make sure if you have elderly folks that want to vote by mail, it's time to send in the application for that. Make sure everyone can go vote. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I really appreciate it. You can always donate to our campaign at Julie Johnson for Texas. Every small donation adds up. It makes a big difference to all the campaigns. So thank you so much for letting me come by.
Conservation. There is a clipboard going around. There's one at the end of that table. Please start passing that. It has a sample of the conservation update email, the sort of thing that I send out, and then you can sign up if you do not now get those emails and would like to get them. It shows what's coming up that we're concerned about, but tonight I want you to hear about the Beyond Coal campaign from Chrissy Mann, who is from the Lone Star office.
Hi, thanks for setting aside a few minutes for me to introduce myself. This is the first time I've been to one of the Dallas General Meetings. It's a big group. Happy to see everybody here. It's a really important part of the state that we do work in the for the Beyond Coal campaign. Again, my name is Chrissy Mann. I work for the Beyond Coal campaign, and I work out of the Austin office with the Lone Star chapter, so like the conservation director, executive director, all those folks are down there, but a whole slew of other national staff like myself. And what I work on is statewide clean energy issues. And so my goal is to move the energy grid beyond coal, beyond fracked gas, over to clean energy storage, energy efficiency, and that's how we're gonna hopefully power our future, right? And so we do that, we do our work in lots of different ways, and this is a national campaign, and I'm the state of Texas representative. So I'll make sure that Chris has all my contact information in case anyone wants to reach out and just has any more questions later. But some of the statewide energy sector work we do is around like clean air rules. And so we work with lawyers and community organizers and communication specialists, but we really rely on the membership to help us push our objectives across the finish line. And so coming up soon, and are probably tired of hearing about Texas Regional Haze if you're on one of our mailing lists. Where the Trump EPA has proposed another terrible rule, and it's a complete turnabout and undercutting of what Regional Haze is supposed to do. Regional Haze rule is supposed to do in Texas, and that rule is supposed to clean up the air around national parks like Big Bend, like Guadalupe Mountains, like Carlsbad, and Wichita Mountains in Oklahoma, and Caney Creek in Arkansas. And so what you'll see from us soon from the coal campaign is we're going to send out an email to members in the next few weeks that gives you some information about it and lets you easily comment. And comments are really important to help build up the record against a bad rule like we're seeing, like we've seen, which undercuts the value of the Obama era rule that said that these coal plants need to clean up their sulfur dioxide emissions. So that's an example of the statewide work we do, and an example of the community-based work that we do is right here with Misty O'Quinn. If she could stand up. Yeah. She's our Dallas-based organizer, Dallas area-based organizer, and we are doing work in the city of Garland specifically, where we're trying to learn a little bit about their utility, because they're a city that owns their utility. So we can do really strategic surgical work where we can create advocacy that gets them to move their utility resources away from coal and frack gas to clean energy, and that helps push more clean energy on the grid, and that gets people excited and feel like they can have some ownership over how they're powering their cars, how they're powering their businesses, and how they're powering their homes. And so that's the super auctioneer fast version of what we do. And I mean, I'd love to talk to any one of y'all that wants to get more engaged, particularly in the local work. I think that's it. So thanks.
Chrissy is an employee of the national office, the same as Misty. I think you're next, Mark.
I have 3 items for you about outings, classes, day nights. Great weekend in Oklahoma. We are offering our Twice a year, we offer our backpacking 101 class, and this Saturday is the day. 10 o'clock, Whole Foods Market, Preston and Forest. We are offering a wilderness navigation class taught by Bill and Arthur, who are here on the front row. Put your hands up. This is the best navigation class for wilderness navigation anywhere in the metro area. And on December 1 and 2, we're offering something that we offer about once a year, maybe once every 2 years. We're offering training sessions for people who would like to lead day hikes. We have arranged Outdoor Leader Training 101 on Saturday, December 1st, and a first aid and CPR class for you on Sunday afternoon, October 2. So note those dates. You can find more information at DallasSierraClub.org. We are offering day hikes starting September 30th, the Sunday the day after the Sierra Club picnic. And you can get information about 3-day hikes in 3 consecutive weekends at DallasSierraClub.org. They're all in the Richardson, Plano, Dallas orbit, very close to home. We typically do those starting in the morning, and you're usually done by lunchtime, and you can go to lunch as a group with your fellow hikers if you'd like. The last thing is a great weekend in the Kiamichi Hills of southeastern Oklahoma. October 19, 20, and 21, we have the group campsite reserved at Beavers Bend State Park near Broken Bow, Oklahoma. This is a family event, it's a singles event. We will have more than 50 people in attendance. We've got plenty of room for you to sign up now. You're not going to be able to find any place to camp at this state park if you wait a lot longer. This is the best option there will be. It's typically a great weekend, and you can get all the information about it at DallasSierraClub.org. Okay, thank you.
Liz, it's guaranteed perfect weather for the weekend.
Always.
Oh, Liz, thank you very much. Liz is going to talk about Inspiring Connections Outdoors.
Thank you. And just follow-up clarification, what Mark was saying, the leader training is December 1st, the first aid training is December 2nd, that Sunday. Beavers Bend, October 19, and the wilderness navigation class is the last Wednesday and Thursday of September. I believe it's the 26th and 27th. So the classes are September, camp out in October, leader training in December, and then all the fun outings in between. So, for the camp out October, it's whether you're in a tent, the other option are cabins, and they're all included in all the same price of $40, so great deal. Okay, I'm here representing, and believe it or not, my first meeting was 25 years ago. I'm sure I haven't aged a bit, but my first meeting I came, and someone made an announcement about this part of our organization, and I went to it that following weekend, and obviously I've been here ever since. It's called Inspiring Connections Outdoors, and the whole idea is our adult volunteers. We partner with groups of kids that without us basically would not have the opportunity to go outdoors, and we take them out on day hikes, a lot of day hikes, Saturday kind of things. So we've done camping, we've done backpacking trips, we've done service outings. It's just a really wonderful way. If you feel like volunteering in the outdoors, it's not a huge commitment. You signed up for the outing that's convenient for you. But we do, because we work with youth, require background checks and a new volunteer orientation. That orientation is going to be the last Tuesday of September, the 25th. And I know it's hard to collect information during announcements, so I have these little slips of paper over by our little bulletin board over here with pictures. It has the date and the information on how to get a hold of me if you'd like to come. I'd like to know ahead of time just so I know how much information to prepare. But everyone's welcome. You do have to be over 18, so it's not for the kids in high school that need service hours. But it's just one of those things that if you have a heart for getting kids outdoors, you don't have to know a lot about nature. It's like, oh yeah, that's a snake, that's a tree. That's about all you need to know. What you need to know is just that you care about the kids, or you care about getting other people outdoors and helping them protect it and enjoy it safely. That's what we're all about. We kind of refer to ourselves as the heart of the group. But anyway, a lot of fun, kind of seasonal, fall, spring. We'd love to have you join us, or if you just want to come and check it out, but just, this is the way to contact me. So, and you just never know, you might be here 25 years later.
Thank Liz, thank you very much. Does our membership chair have anything to say other than?
Hi, I'm Chicha Bradley. I'm the membership chair for Dallas Sierra Club, and I want you all to join if you haven't already. It's only like the low price of $40 if you're poor, $15 if you're a student. It's free. I'm kidding. Anyway, 15 is the lowest special offer we have. So I encourage you to join. And we have the 2019 calendars here. They are really $15, and that's pretty cheap. They're gorgeous. They're wonderful. Big ones, little ones, write on them, do whatever you want. And then, to finish it off, we have the Sierra Club Picnic on September 29th, which is a Saturday. It starts at 10, it goes to 1. There'll be free food, free games, people that you can talk to about anything you want to know about Sierra Club, and I encourage you to come to that. It's really fun. We have like 50, 60 people show up to that, and it'll be a gorgeous day, and I'll have water balloons, so watch out.
Plus, you are going to have some of your usual, unusual giveaways, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. I'll be there. Very good. Well, now I want to turn it over to David Griggs. He is our Dallas Group political chair. He's also the political chair for the Lone Star chapter. David.
All right, well, thank you. I'm going to pull up my presentation and we'll get started. We have to move quickly because we have another program after this tonight that many of you have come to see. But thank you for coming for the teaser for our October program. So we're going to go through some slides tonight very quickly. Is there a clicker that I can use? Okay. We will go over some of this again next month in much more detail when we have more time. Plus, we'll have a few more candidates. We only had one candidate tonight to speak with us, and thank you for working her in early. She had another event to go to. But every 2 years, we have a political program right before the election. And some of you may remember some of these slides. Which one do you push? The one on the right?
Right.
One on the right.
The one on the right. Okay.
Is it not working?
There we go. Well, this is the short program of the political year. And so I'm going to go over a little bit of this so that you will understand sort of what we do. There are 3 levels of the Sierra Club. The group level, which is where you're coming to a group meeting for the Dallas group. The chapter level, which is in Austin, the Lone Star chapter, which has its own set of guidelines and rules. And I'm the chapter political chair and the group political chair, which is one of the roles of leaders, volunteer leaders in the club. We also have a national club, and those folks have employees, and Chrissy and Misty are national employees who are based in Austin. Thank you, by the way, for coming to our meeting. We don't have national folks come very often, so we're proud to have you all be here with us tonight. And I'm going to work in the 3 different levels in our endorsement process. But for now, let's talk about it. What we want to do with our political committee is to select candidates for endorsement who meet our criteria, to promote endorsed candidates to the membership, to work for and help elect those candidates that we endorse, and to affect the course of environmental legislation through election of those candidates. Next month, I'll show you and explain to you what we get for it. You know, basically at the local level, you know, we're on the verge of a very exciting moment. The Dallas City Council is set to approve a climate plan in its environmental plan. This has taken the work of a lot of people and many organizations a lot of time to find the money and to get that put into the budget. And so we're on the verge of following only Austin as the second city in Texas to actually adopt a real climate plan. And that's in part due to our endorsement process, getting the right people on the council, being able to support this type of thing. We'll tell you more about that next month. This month, we're talking about this election. We won't have our council elections until next May. But right now, the control of the U.S. Senate, I did 2 of them. Well, you can see that. Control of the Senate is at stake. Control of the House, this is the U.S. House. Control of the Texas Senate, I don't know why it's doing that. And control of the Texas House and the ability to set environmental policy. That's what all is at stake. Now, the process of how we do this for our endorsements. For federal offices, there is a federal questionnaire that is sent to candidates other than the incumbents. We know how the incumbents vote, so we don't send them a questionnaire. But for challengers to incumbents, the National Political Committee or National Political Team puts together a questionnaire each year, and those are sent out to congressional candidates. There are interviews or interaction with them. The local ex-com and chapter make recommendations to the National Club, and then the National Club, essentially the political committee, will make the approval. We have a couple of those endorsements we'll talk about. Now, in Texas, our chapter has a process by looking at the voting records of incumbents to determine if we're going to endorse them. We have a candidate questionnaire, again, for challengers. Voting records of the incumbents. Lone Star Political Committee makes a recommendation. There's 12 people on that committee. I'm one of them. I'm the chair of that committee. These 12 people are all across the state, geographically balanced. And then finally, the Lone Star Executive Committee, which I also sit on, actually makes the final approval. So that's the process. Now, this year's political program, who have we endorsed? Beto O'Rourke, the United States Senate, got our endorsement without much challenge. The incumbent is Ted Cruz, who has a zero, absolutely zero record of environmental votes.
He's just a zero.
And some of his folks are here, and he'll bring them up in a minute so they can tell you how you can support Beto's campaign. They even have a table over here. So know that. Now, for Congress, we've endorsed 2 incumbents here who've had good voting records. Eddie Bernice Johnson in District 30, Mark Vesey in District 33. You know whether or not that person is your congressperson. We hope you'll support them if you're in either of those congressional districts. And this is news. I just got this afternoon from the National Political Committee the approval of what we've gone through and spent quite a bit of time getting Colin Allred endorsed. Colin Allred is running in District 32 against Pete Sessions, as you all probably know. Many of you probably do live in that district, and we certainly hope you can help Colin. Now, real quickly, the national or the state endorsements we've made, we have, and all of these people turned in questionnaires, by the way. And sadly, none of the incumbents bothered to participate. So we always send a candidate questionnaire to the incumbent if we're considering the challenger. And in this case, we sent one to the governor and one to Lupe. She turned hers in and blew us away. I mean, whoever she had help her knew what they were doing because she has an excellent position on our state issues. Lupe Valdez, governor, Mike Collier, lieutenant governor, Attorney General Justin Nelson, Ag Commissioner. This is a big surprise. Kim Olson is doing very, very well if you followed her campaign. She's running for Agriculture Commissioner. And Romick McAllen is a great candidate for Railroad Commissioner. Now, as you know, the Railroad Commission has nothing to do with railroads. It has everything to do with regulation of oil and gas and mineral rights in Texas. So that is a very important environmental position, and we need to support Romick McAllen. Now, real quickly for State House, hopefully you know whose district you're in. These are the candidates. Eric Johnson in District 100, that's kind of downtown and Fair Park area. Chris Turner, that's Arlington. Rafael Anchia, Oak Cliff, and all the way up to Farmers Branch. Victoria Niave in District 107, that is East Dallas and part of Northern Mesquite. Tony Rose is down in South Dallas somewhere, and Yvonne Davis is kind of Duncanville, Lancaster area. Then on the Senate side, we have some challengers. Those were incumbents, by the way. These are challengers. Kendall Scudder is running in Senate District 2. That's East Dallas and several rural counties out in that area. Nathan Johnson in Senate District 16, that's right here in this area. Nathan is going to be here next month, by the way. And so that is basically our neighborhood. Coppell, Farmers Branch, Carrollton, Addison, and Garland. All right, so some of the other important challenger races. Ana Maria Ramos in House District 102, that's sort of North Dallas and Richardson. Terry Mesa in District 105, that's Irving and Grand Prairie. Terry came within 64 votes last time of actually winning. So we think she's going to pull it off this time. We endorsed her before. Joanna Kadanak in District 108, that's sort of Highland Park, Park Cities, and Central North Dallas, the SNU area kind of up. Brandy Chambers in House District 112, that's Richardson and Garland. Retta Bowers, Garland, Mesquite, and Sunnyvale over in the eastern part of the county. John Turner, this gets a lot of you. Lake Highlands, Northeast Dallas. By the way, John Turner is having a meet and greet. David Gray, one of our members, some of you may know, is having a thing in his home on Friday the 21st. So I encourage you to participate. I have flyers for that over here if you're in District 114. Julie Johnson, who you just heard from in District 115, again, our neighborhood, Farmers Branch, Carrollton, and Coppell. She is running against Matt Rinaldi, who is absolutely the lowest of the low, not only for his 0% environmental record, but he's not a great individual either. And you heard her talk a little bit about him. He's the one that wanted to shoot the guy on the floor, remember that conversation, and he wanted to report all of the people of color who were in the rafters because they were all illegal. Remember that debacle? Anyway, that's who she is running against. All right, so in the Senate District, Mark Ferris in Senate District 8. Some of you who are in Collin County, I know some of you are in Senate District 8. You will want to take note of Mark Ferris. Sharon Hirsch and Michelle Beckley are State House candidates in 65 and 66. We're still waiting for the vote to come in on this one, but Michelle will be endorsed. She is a dynamite candidate. She actually has got environmental issues on her literature, which not many people have, so we're really pleased with Michelle. On the county commission, we actually do have some county commissioner races. The director of the whole National Political Committee, Ariel Hayes, called me and wanted me to consider this. So we have Winnie Cannon, who is Dallas County Commissioner in District 2. Some of you in North Dallas know she's running against a Tea Party Republican for that spot. And then, of course, our own champion, Clay Jenkins, who is our county judge, has been wonderful and has done a lot of good things for us on the county commission. Now, what can you do? Real quickly, block walking. Most of our campaigns on Saturdays and Sunday afternoons, weekdays, late afternoon and evenings during the week need help. They need help canvassing, walking precincts, they need help phone banking, and general office assistance. This is the period of time that's very important. The September 22nd through November the 2nd is the early voting period. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunities during the early voting period. Super Weekend, I call it Super Weekend because it is the weekend that's within the voting period. And for GOTV, what does GOTV mean? It doesn't mean anything about television. What does it mean? Get out the vote. Okay, it's a simple for that. The final weekend is November 3rd and 4th. Okay, and the election day, of course, is the 6th. Now, I'm going to just jump over this a little, except that I want to direct your attention to turntexasgreen.org as we conclude here. TurnTexasGreen.org is our website for raising money. And tomorrow night, we're having our PAC fundraiser. Very important that you all know about this. It's going to be at Maggiano's in North Park from 6:30, actually 6 o'clock till 8:30 tomorrow night. Well, forget this. I forgot to take that out from last time. We have Luke Valdez, Mike Potter, Roman McAllen, and several of our legislative candidates who are there. So before you leave tonight, please visit me at the Turn Texas Green table. If you're not able to come tomorrow night and would like to help make a donation to our PAC, PAC stands for Political Action Committee. We actually raise funds to actually give a contribution to our candidates in the name of the Sierra Club Political Committee. And that's very important for us to get on their records to do that. Now, on election day, we'll go over this next month. You'll be able to figure out where you vote, look on your voter registration card, and get that. So your participation is vital. You have to give, you have to vote, and then you have to volunteer. So we won't be asking for money next month because hopefully we'll have raised it tomorrow night. So give your money now, but next month we need to give your person, we need to give your volunteer time because those candidates are really going to need that. All right. TurnTexasGreen.org is important. That's where you can give to the Sierra Club. DallasCountyVotes.org. You want to look up the election information of where you vote and that sort of thing. And on election night, you know who's winning. And then the Sierra Club endorsements for the United States Senate and the House are on Clubhouse. How many of you know how to get on Clubhouse? Okay, not many of you. Okay. All right. So that concludes our program tonight. Yes.
Are any of those candidates Republican, or are they all Democratic candidates?
We have endorsed Republicans in the past because we're nonpartisan, but we go by a system of evaluation, and frankly, none of the Republicans came anywhere close to our evaluation. You know? And we have endorsed Republicans in the past, and typically it's in a primary where they lose, you know, and probably because it's a much more conservative candidate that's running. Okay, unfortunately we don't have a lot of time for questions tonight, but I do want to recognize you real quick, and if you could come and just quickly tell us what they can do for Beto. And introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Antonella, and actually I'm a member of the Sierra Club. I attended the backpacking 101, and I successfully did a 7-day backpacking on the Paria River in the spring. And I'm a monthly contributor to the Sierra Club. But now, today I'm here representing the Beto O'Rourke campaign. I hope everybody has heard about Beto. Has been endorsed by the Sierra Club, as Keith just explained. We need volunteers. We need people knocking on door, phone banking, texting. The campaign is very organized. So what I ask you to do is see me after the program, and I can get your email and phone number, and then I will contact you in the next days and send you all the information you need to be able to volunteer for the campaign. I also, if you can contribute with volunteering, if you can please sign our commit to vote sheet so that we have an idea where we have to concentrate our efforts in the next 8 weeks. We are going to contact 5.5 million people in Texas. This is what the campaign wants to do. So it's a huge effort. So if we need all the help we can get. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you all for your patience. Try to come over here at the end of the program. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. That was really great. Thank you very much, David. It's great to see a couple of candidates here. By the way, I forgot to ask at the beginning of the meeting, how many people are here for the Dallas Sierra Club General Meeting for the first time? Can you raise your hand? Whoa, a lot of new faces. Thank you so much for being here. We welcome you. And next, we're going to have our program chair, Kirk Miller.
Our main speaker tonight is from Texas Nameplate Company, and as you might expect, Texas Nameplate Company makes nameplates. And they used to be on the blacklist for the city of Dallas because they would pollute water repeatedly. But they changed their ways, and now they are a leader in environmental responsibility. Dale Crownover is their president and CEO, and he's here tonight to tell the story about how they made this amazing turnaround. So I'll turn it over, and please welcome Dale Crownover.
Yes. Little clicker. Here. Thank you, Kurt. I'm not a politician. I promise I'm not going to ask for your vote. I appreciate Kurt for asking me. I don't know where he found me. I might have been hitchhiking, but he found me to talk to the people. I really appreciate it. My forte is not being a public speaker. My forte is trying to run a small business in Dallas. As Kurt made a little bit of reference to, we got into all this environmental thing many years ago, really. Some of us old people can kind of remember back in the 70s and the 80s, if a company had a violation, the company was the one that got the citation, and they changed that law, and whoever was the owner of the company, they got the citation, and that's when they got my attention when I started getting all the citations in my own name, started recognizing that we needed to take the environment a little bit more seriously. Before I get into this, I think it's important to tell you a little bit more about Texas nameplate. We are a Malcolm Baldrige Award recipient. Many of you probably don't know what that is, but it's a performance excellence criteria that is the only award that the President of the United States endorses for performance excellence. And it's a criteria that we adopted about 25 years ago that requires an organization to specifically look at their leadership system, their strategic planning, customers, and things of that nature. But we were very fortunate to win it with President Clinton. If it means anything, we thought we were the hillbillies. We won it with Boeing and Caterpillar. And part of that process of winning this award, you get feedback. And what I really remember in part of the feedback was that they noticed that we were not addressing some of our solvents correctly. And that just kind of hit with me, because it was about 10 years before that the city kind of recognized the fact that we weren't addressing some of our solvents and clean air. So that always was kind of in the back of my mind about the environment. And we've done very well. We were located in downtown Dallas for about 55 years, just a mile from City Hall. And it came time for us to relocate. And that was when I really remember these old stories about this environment. We'd already done a lot to try to enhance our environmental position. But when we were able to build a new facility, we knew then we could build a new facility that would be a little bit more environmentally friendly. When we do nameplates, we use a lot of acids. So we are a big contributor to obviously generating waste, and we wanted to be a role model for the environment. It was not something that we wanted to get this recognition. We just felt like it was the right thing to do. Now, as I said, my dad actually started Texas Nameplate in 1946, and a lot of us old people can kind of remember a lot of new businesses started after World War II, 1946. And in fact, U-Haul was one of my dad's very first customers. U-Haul was started in 1946 too. They needed trailers to move service people when they came back from the Army, and U-Haul needed a nameplate. When my dad was obviously pretty young then, but he delivered papers in downtown Dallas before nameplates, there was rubber stamps. And that's when they kind of found the need for nameplates. Well, that was 70 plus years ago. And when I was about 8 years old, I remember seeing this picture of Texas nameplate. And of course, I was really young then, but really back in those days, businesses was really focused about quality. EPA wasn't around, that wasn't a big deal. They were really focused on just making nameplates. I don't know if that was let me see that. Okay, well, we, in 70 years, we went paperless about 3 years ago, and we currently put in about 5,000 orders a year. And each order that we put in our traveler, we counted that it had 16 pieces of paper in there. So if you did the math, 5,000 times 16, it's a lot of paper. And we calculated that just in paper alone, that we were killing about 10 trees a year. So in the 70 years we've been in business, we reflect back, and Texas Nameplate has killed 700 trees since we've been established. This right here is just a little video. It's just a 2-minute about some of our environmental things. I don't know how you make that.
John, can you, John?
John, go.
Sorry.
There he is. Click on the center of it. Move the mouse.
Slow.
Very exciting video.
That's the process where they stamp out the nameplates.
There you go.
May I ask while that's loading, what exactly is a nameplate in this context?
Yeah. A nameplate is typically what you see on like on a hot water heater, air conditioner, lawnmowers, microwaves. It's a product identification plate that you might see on a product that's got a serial number or identification number. We ship out about 15 to 20,000 pieces a day. American Airlines has a lot of nameplates on it. Raytheon has nameplates. Lockheed Martin make all the nameplates for the fighter jets for the fuselage.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's move forward a little bit and see if it moves. There we go. Very nice.
Doing anything.
Sorry, it just doesn't seem to want to.
Okay, failure.
Well,
Never mind.
we'll go on. It doesn't want to work.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll go on. What the video was going to show you was a lot of things that we've done in these projects to be sustainable. So what the next 70 years looks like, what we're trying to depict from the sustainability, this thing is not. That other page is not coming up. They're all scattered out here. Okay. Next 70 years. All right, they're all jumbled up here, so I'll just try to get with it. So what we've done here each year in these projects, we have figured out that we're saving 30 trees a year through our paperless. We went paperless about 3 years ago. Very few organizations have gone paperless, mainly because they don't have the right culture. So we save a lot of trees on going paperless, and also we recycle our cardboard. So we save about 30 trees a year. We invented a machine that we save 25,000 rags a year. When we have these solvents, we have to wipe the solvents off. If you've seen the Centos or the GK people, we don't use those guys anymore, and these rags are sold and they're very expensive. We recycle about 6,000 gallons of acid. We're one of the very few nameplate companies that actually rejuvenate our acid. This machine that we invented, we've eliminated 12 tons of dirty air. from these solvents and painting. We recycle 60,000 pounds of metal. We also reclaim 1,200 gallons of a solvent that we use. We just started about 6 months ago. We went from enamel-based paint to VOCs for a water base, and we recycle about 450,000 gallons of water a year. So to try to go from a sustainability, what are we going to do? What's going to happen in 70 years from now? I'm very fortunate to have 2 of our sons working with us, so the chance of us being in business another 70 years is pretty probable. So from a sustainability, we know, Texas Nameplate, that we're going to save over 700 trees the next 70 years. We also know that we're going to save 420,000 gallons of acid, 840 tons of VOCs, 84,000 gallons of solvent, and 31 million gallons of water on these projects that we have got in place. Now, I'm going to have to just find some of these other slides in here. Coming up. This is our youngest son. For going green, you have to create this culture. In my experience with Baldridge, where a lot of organizations have a very difficult time going to another level, they don't have the right culture. We're very fortunate right now, 41% of our people are millennials. I kind of call them the green generation. A lot of senior leaders really have a real problem with this right now, that it's going to be very difficult for these organizations to not only attract these millennials, but to retain them. We have already created this culture. Our sons, obviously they're millennials, and it's a way of thinking. We've eliminated the plastic water bottles. We actually bought some lasers that, believe it or not, environmental did not require that we bin them. We actually bought a $15,000 dust collector just to clean that dirty air. So we've gone out of our way, and the culture out here, everything that we do right now, we're always trying to reuse and recycle everything. We have, it's not coming up, we have adopted what you call the triple bottom line, and it's people, planet, and profit. And a lot of my speaking, I'm pretty amazed how so many organizations are just focused on profit. We're here to say that organizations need to start looking at the people and the planet. If you do that appropriately, you'll make profit. These initiatives that we have got in place, we have like 9 projects. We have spent about $500,000 on these projects. And so we've spent about $500,000 on these projects. We save about $250,000 a year just in savings on solvents and acids and things of that nature. So you can see the return is pretty good on that. We're one of very few organizations that we open our doors to all of our competitors. We actually have had 6 of our top direct competitors come to Texas Nameplate and tour our facility. It's our dream. There's about 100 etched nameplate companies in America. If we can get 10% of these people to do what we are, you can just imagine all these numbers here would be times 10. And we think that's pretty significant. We're a very small industry. None of you ever heard of a nameplate till you came in here. And what is very interesting, we had a competitor from California came in and saw what all we had done. If you'd seen the video, I think you'd be pretty impressed. When we built this new facility, we were not asked. In fact, none of this stuff that we have done was it required. It was all done voluntarily. We built this new facility. We built a separate chemical building 150 foot from our main site that houses all of our chemicals. We have over 4,000 foot of pipe and over 20 pumps that pump all these chemicals back and forth. It's all self-contained, and we spent a lot of money just to do that. It was our thinking that the third generation and generations to come, that it would always be a role model situation for other companies to hopefully do the same thing on all their hazardous materials. It also helped in just in insurance, that the main production facility, we were able to downgrade the insurance because we didn't have all these chemicals. The idea, obviously, was if anything, God forbid, were to happen in a chemical building, it would only kill one guy instead of about 50. So it was just a way of being very transparent with their sustainability. I've been pretty, I will say I've been pretty disappointed that a lot of organizations are not trying to follow a good environmental action plan or whatever. I really do think it's the future. I'm really proud of what you people are promoting and doing. I was telling some gentlemen, some old school buddies, that when you start talking from a business perspective about Baldridge or strategic planning or whatever, everybody wants to argue with you about why you're doing it or how come. This is one subject that I found is not a debatable subject, so that's why I've become very proud to talk about the environment and the impacts. I'm working, we're actually located in Lancaster, and I'm working with the city council, trying to get them to encourage them, similar to what you guys are trying to do at a state government level, trying to get the city government to do the same thing. That the criteria should be on these city council people. They ought to be asked what their thoughts are on the environment. We're currently in an industrial park, and I know there's going to be more industry come in right next door to us. And since we have taken this step, I'm really pushing the city council to ask some good questions. Don't just get these guys in because they have money. Start asking some questions. Maybe give them some incentives to provide to the stakeholders out there. And what are they doing for their air pollution or their water pollution? And try to get something on the agenda other than just making money, and start looking at the future of this stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. I encourage you on our website, it's nameplate.com. A lot of this stuff, there's a lot of videos out there showing what we've done on all this environmental stuff. I think it's the way to the future. And I really think that what you guys are doing and promoting is pretty exciting stuff. So I wish some of the other slides would work. If this one right here that didn't come up, the waste generated, when we make nameplates, what this one here says, we use a lot of water, we use a lot of solvents, we use a lot of acid, we contaminate a lot of air, we use a lot of paper, we use a lot of metal, and a lot of rags. And those are those 9 projects that we virtually just eliminated, being very proactive. I will say what I found out is pretty interesting, that you guys might be environmental nerds, but if you get some of these energy guys that are really into solar, which I'm all for, one way you can get more energy efficient is do the LEDs. On the environment, I'm really surprised that more people don't go paperless. I'm really shocked that people still want to do a very antiquated way of doing paper. That was one of the very first things. We created our own ERP specifically for this paperless. When we moved, it enabled us to make a smooth transition from one facility to another, but we were able to obviously transfer all of our files electronically. In our old facility, we had about 70,000 tickets that unfortunately we just threw away. And again, what I have found out in my research, that companies are not paperless. I really think they're going to have a hard time going paperless and they don't have the right culture. But yet these millennials, you will see, I think in about 5 or 10 years, just think you're gonna get a millennial to go file 50 tickets every afternoon. They're not gonna do it. They're just not gonna do it. So it is something that really pretty amazing people don't want to try to go paperless. But anyway, that's who we are. It's yes, ma'am.
When you began talking, it sounded like the thing that got your attention was citations by the city of Dallas. Is that what started you on this path, or were you already considering?
No, I really think, and I get asked that a lot, I really think that, I was young and very naive, thought I was a businessman, and when I had these 9 citations, and I went to trial, actually went to trial, and I really got offended when the prosecutor was making a reference to me that I was more interested in the financial success of Texas Nameplate than I was the safety of the kids' water. And I thought that was kind of funny, that it resonated with me that I would be considered a pollutant. And it really bothered me as I matured, trying to run a business and trying to do what was right. I'm very happy, my dad died about 10 years ago, and my dad, back in that generation, their core values were very biblical in manner, and he kind of taught me that same way. So I knew we weren't doing right. I knew we could beat the system. That bothered me, and then when we won the Baldridge, and even a third-party assessment came in, and they started asking questions, even though we were in compliance. We still are in compliance. None of this stuff that we've done will we forced to do. We're one of the very few nameplate companies that are ISO 14000 certified, if you know anything about that. A lot of organizations are 9000 certified. That's a quality management system, and they're doing that for no other reason than they've been asked to do that or they won't get any business. I'm really surprised that the 14,000 is not being more promoted to encourage people to start doing this. We've been ISO 14,000 certified for about 18 years. And it's not just the environment, it has a lot to do with safety measures as well. But as you can see, or I hope you can see from a small business, we're trying to indicate to people that as small as we are, you can do it. It has a great impact. We're getting a lot of kudos. I thought that a lot of our competitors would be kind of bothered with what we're doing. Believe it or not, a big competitor in California saw all this stuff. They wanted to come see our facility, and they have shut down their chemical etch line, and we're doing all their etching. Our sales have picked up about 20% the last 5 months from all this environmental, because they are concerned about meeting these requirements as they're going forward. We never did this to get more business.
Are you finding that you mentioned some big name customers like American Airlines and Lockheed Martin, are you finding some of these big companies come to you because of your stance on the environmental side of things?
They're giving us good kudos. And we do have a very big oil and gas company, and they were, it is getting a lot of traction. And I tell you where it really is, it's not, I hate to say it's not so much from upper management, it's the millennials that are the buyers. And what we've also found, it's not about cost, it's about value. And there's a lot of statistics out there that are saying that people are going to start buying from organizations that are doing stuff like this. And I really think that is true. We're doing the same thing at Texas Nameplate. We have changed our habits right now. We ask the same question: what do you do with that tote when we get through with it? What are you doing with it? If they don't have a pretty good positive answer, we'll just cut them off too. This is very important. You know, it's pretty easy for us old people. Like I told our 2 boys, maybe we were the goobers that messed all this up. But you know, back in our days, not everybody had 4 or 5 cars and 20 TVs. So we did our own little recycling ourselves. But, you know, I've also reminded a lot of people, as some of us older people, when I got into all this stuff, if y'all remember, EPA wasn't around up until the mid-70s. And my dad and other people, it wasn't any big deal. Some of us old guys probably remember changing oil in your car and you pour the oil where you didn't want the grass to grow by the fences. That's just the way we did it. And even at nameplates, it's probably no different, that they poured acid down the drain or whatever. They didn't know any better. Yes, sir.
Would you have been able to make these changes at your old location in Dallas?
It was the question was, were we able to do this at the old location? We tried to recycle water and we couldn't do it. We did do the rejuvenation, but we were not able to do the rags and the VOCs. In fact, where we are right now, we're all permanent by rule. We're saving about $20,000 a year just on permitting now, because we've reduced all this kind of stuff. Yes,
How much of this was involved in planning of a new plant? Would it plant make you able to do all this?
well, yes, sir, the main thing was building the chemical building and knowing that we had to put it all out there and transporting all the chemicals back and forth. It also enabled us to buy all of our acid and solvents in bulk, big containers, instead of buying 55-gallon drums. If you're familiar with PPE, personal protection equipment, we're saving about $8,000 a year just on PPE. Because when we used to have to pump 50 gallons of acid, it took 3 guys, it took, you know, an hour and a half, it was dangerous. And there again, the millennial's not gonna do that. If you give a millennial right now a PPE and an MSD, they're gonna run away from it. They don't even wanna read all that stuff. So we're saving a lot of money just in buying it in bulk. When we have a lot of old acid now, we just buy a truck, we just put the hose on there and pump it. We can pump 30,000 gallons right in there and 30,000 gallons back. But yeah, to answer your question, we built all that specifically for that. And when we did this, we're very transparent. We got with the city of Lancaster, we got with the fire marshal. When they saw that we were going to build this chemical building, they fell in love with us. We never had another problem with those guys. Just for being very transparent with it. Yes, sir.
How do you recycle your acids?
Well, it's rejuvenated. Good question. We use a ferric acid and a hydrochloric acid. We have to use acid to etch the metal. And if you're familiar with acid, when you use it so much, it comes dead. It's no good. We used to have 41 barrels. Every 90 days we had to haul off. Now, what we do with rejuvenation, we automatically, the computer, we put different chemicals. It just puts maybe 3 or 4 ounces in there at a time, and it just keeps alive. We've reduced it from 41 barrels to 11 barrels every 90 days on the acid. That's where we get the 6,000 gallons. And you got to understand, that's where we save a lot of money too. Now, I don't like to really get into all that, but you know, I don't want to sound overly egotistic. You can only imagine what this has done to our profitability. And also, I'll tell you that on our production people, we have a competitive survey. 100% of our people are paid more money than our competitors by 14%. And it's because we've done the Malcolm Baldrige and we've done all this stuff. I'm really big in Malcolm Baldrige. It makes you think ahead. It makes you think big picture. It makes you think of something other than profit. You got to address your people and now the planet. It's the 3 Ps, triple bottom line. I hope more and more people hear about it. I'm going to give another talk with the WEEC people in North Carolina. We have, even the Department of Energy found out about us. We're a member of the Better Plant with DOE, and we're supposed to give a presentation for DOE next month on this. So I'm trying real hard. I wish this thing would have worked a little better with videos, but if you were to go on our website, nameplate.com, and watch some of these videos, you can see how we do a whole lot of this stuff. And we have a lot of tours. You're welcome to come visit us.
Privately owned?
Yes, sir.
What about expansion? You ever thought about going public or anything like that?
Well, got 2 little boys now, say little boys, 28, 25. It's theirs, you know, the future's there. I'm 65. I'll probably retire in about 4 or 5 years. You know, I'm trying to teach them. I give a lot of talks about these businesses, and I get back into value and not about making money. I know you got to make money, but if you do all the right stuff, you're going to make money. And my dad used to always tell me, and I finally figured out, it took me about 40 years, that what we want to do, we want to be better, not bigger. You know, everybody wants to grow. Grow does not mean you make more money. And we have a little niche. I told some people today that, I said, for the first time, we don't want any more business. I know that sounds egotistical, but we've got plenty of business right now. And I can suspect right now what has happened, a lot of our competitors are going to get out of chemical etching, but they don't want to spend the money to do what we've done. The chemical building and all the equipment we got over there, we got about $2 million invested in all that stuff. And I wouldn't have done it if it wouldn't have been for our 2 boys from the 3rd generation coming up. And a lot of them, if they don't have a 3rd generation, they're gonna go out. They're gonna sell it and move on. Yes, sir.
Did you have any quality issues with all of the process changes and the rejuvenation of the acid and that kind of thing? Were there any quality issues that you would be
Well, yes, sir.
responding to?
Yeah, but, you know, we monitor that quite a bit. And you're right, when you do all this, if any of you out there have a swimming pool, you know what the problems are. If it rains an inch, it messes up the pH and all that. So yes, sir. We have 2 guys full-time that do nothing but watch all that stuff. We communicate when ODS machines are running. We have to make sure all this processed water is working right, make sure the rejuvenation is working right. We have a machine that does all this that we got a patent on. It's the only one in the whole world. We have companies all over the world wanting to buy one of these machines. It was somewhat debated on whether or not we offer that to our competitors, but now that I'm a little bit older and I finally get it, that it's not about money, it's about what we can do for other people and a legacy and an environment. We have people from Australia wanting to buy this machine because this machine is one that's enabling us to eliminate all the rags, the VOCs, and the solvent. Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned the EPA earlier. Now, are they still monitoring you guys, or, and you mentioned the president, so what does the president have to do with the EPA monitoring right now? What are your thoughts on that? You mentioned the president and the EPA in one sentence.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just curious.
okay. Well, yeah, to answer your question, the EPA still monitors us. Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. But now that we are recycling so much water, the only water that we have to buy is domestic water. So when they come out and check us, we do not even have enough discharge for them to test. We're one of the very few companies that could file right now for no discharge permit at all. So we're thinking about doing that. But the only water that we're paying for right now is domestic water.
Well, Dale, thank you so much. I gotta say, one thing that impressed me, I'm very much interested in water, is the fact that you guys are gonna save 1,000 acre feet. That's how I think in terms of water, acre feet. Anyway, thank you very much, Dale. That was fascinating, despite the technical problems. It really was a very good presentation. I want to say we are coming to a close in our meeting. Please, we have some displays over there to talk to some of our leaders. Remember, we are a volunteer organization. We are looking for volunteers. We're looking for a co-program chairs, which Kirk right there, he'd love to be able to train you and show you what the ropes are. It's a great opportunity.
Raise your hand. Well,
What?
if you come to your senses and you do want to, contact me or contact John, please.
Yes, do so. And also, Arthur is looking for someone for our monthly newsletter we put out. Once a month, it's the only time it takes. And before you leave, there is this little table. It has a blue tablecloth, and it says Turn Texas Green. David is standing behind it, so he's going to be there to give you information and take your contribution to the Turn Texas Green.
And what's tomorrow night?
Oh, and tomorrow night, it's in North Park, right?
Right, Asciano's in North Park.
Maggiano's. You want to be there, 6 o'clock. And Kirk is saying food. So go over there and see Kirk about food.
Please take the food.
Yeah, we're going for dinner
We're
after.
going for dinner tonight.
Where are we going? Where should we go? Rio Bravo. Oh, that's right. Let's go there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy 2 platters of their crazy nachos, which are, oh, they're good. They are crazy good, yes.
And they are for who?
The 40 plus crowd.
Me.
Those big platters.
And she who must be obeyed. But anyway, therefore, everybody who comes over, newcomers, if you haven't been with the Sierra Club before, please come by. We'd love to meet you.
Where is it?
Where it be? It's on Midway. It is south of Beltline, which is on the corner of Beltway and Midway, and that's the southwest corner. Rio
One
Bravo.
block south of Midway and Bell.
Correct. So, does anybody have anything they'd like to say before we leave? Oh, our membership chair, what would you like?
Where's the picnic?
Where is that picnic?
Churchill Park,
Churchill Park,
off Hillcrest Avenue.
off Hillcrest Avenue in Dallas,
Yes.
10 a.m.
Map on our website.
Yes.
Yes.
Where's the backpacking class?
The who? The backpacking class? By the way, the beginner backpacking class, it's a good thing to go to. I actually attended it, and after the second time, it actually worked for me. Then I knew, yes, you don't need a 70-pound pack for an overnight camping trip. And don't forget, come right up here. We have calendars and engagement books for sale. So thank you very much for your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Same place, same time, different day. Thank you very much.